No, yeah, a bit more on the mic.
Give it up! Start clapping! Start cheering for the one, the only, Dharmander Singh! Oh, wow, you didn't have to do that, man. Check out that guy was good, wasn't he? And sexy fella. So welcome one and all to my solo show. Dharmander Singh from Bollywood and Birmingham to Berlin and Brexit, yeah? Yeah. So let's start at the beginning of the title. Dharmander Singh. That's me, yeah? Hello. Yeah, I was named after a Bollywood legend. Has anyone heard of the Bollywood legend, Dharmander? No. Okay, fair play. But you've all heard of Bollywood, haven't you? Yeah, nice, beautiful, cultured audience. I like you guys already, right? For the one person, though, who's not heard of Bollywood, let me give you some free advice. If you ever have children, right, or even if you have got children, don't waste your money on hiring expensive babysitters to look after your kids. Don't do it. Waste the money, man. Don't buy your kids expensive Xboxes or PlayStations to keep them entertained. Don't do it. Waste the money, man. Just get one Bollywood film. Get it on the TV. Get your kid. Sit them in front of the TV. Press play. And just go out. Don't worry about childcare. Go shopping. Visit the relatives. Go to a 3-day music festival. Because it doesn't matter what you do or however long you are out there. When you come back home, your child will still be sitting in front of that Bollywood film. But only half of it will be finished. And now your child has a beard as well, right? You'll look at your kid, you'll be like, yo, what's going on in the film, man? And your kid will just be like, I don't know, Dad. Something to do with revenge. Yeah. They keep dancing, Dad. Why do they keep dancing? Right? Yeah, every Bollywood film has got to have at least 7 dance numbers in it, yeah? At least 7 dance numbers in it, or the GDP of India drops. Yeah. Yeah. And they lose millions of rupees on the stock exchange, right? Millions of rupees, which is something like €12.50. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a funny man, aren't I? I don't know fucking shit, right? Even the sad Bollywood films, man, they just start dancing for no reason. Like, ding, 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 ding. Hey! Yeah, man. I love it. Like, my favourite Bollywood film when I was a little kid is this film called Mother India, right? And it's an amazing film. I absolutely advise you to check it out, right? And it's set back in the day. And it's about this woman and her life journey. Mother India. And my favourite scene when I was a little kid was the scene when Mother India and her husband were there farming this land together, yeah? To feed their kids. It was beautiful, right? And then the husband was there just lifting a rock just by himself, because Indians, we don't need machines. And there he is just like... I'm going to keep doing that, right? Now, the Indian head thing, it's for balance, isn't it? It's for balance, yeah, right? So he's lifting the rock all by himself, and then you got Mother India here, just being all Bollywood about things, yeah? Just like, hi. Oh, be careful. Be careful, my love. And then you got a husband there just looking at her like, no! I don't need to be careful. I am Indian. No health or safety in that country, man. What the fuck is going on, right? But then she looks at him like, no, 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 no. Be careful. You are my heart. You are my moon. You are my stars. You are my universe. Be careful. Boy, don't be careful, man. He doesn't listen to her, yeah? And he keeps on lifting this rock. And then the rock, it drops, yeah? And it rips off both of his arms, yeah? Yeah, man. This film was rated PG. Just to let the little Indian kids know that death is around every corner. That's why Indians have so many children. And so she's watching that. She's like, hey, no. Oh why Krishna? Oh why Shiva? Oh why the other 3,000 gods we've got? I know. Hey! All these people suddenly appear out of bushes behind her. Like, is somebody dancing? I call it the Indian any chance to dance technique. And they all sneak up behind her and then just start dancing in sequence with her, yeah? Perfectly, ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding, yeah? Fireworks start going off in the fucking sky, you know what I mean? An elephant appears out of nowhere because it's India, right? And he's got a cow on his back, right? And it made me think, you know what? It made me think, you know what? Hollywood should do the same, right? Hollywood, every film should have a song and dance number in it, right? Not just musicals, not just Disney films. It would make the world a better place, wouldn't it? Every film, for example, Titanic. Yeah, man, have we all seen Titanic? Beautiful. For that one person who said no, I'm really sorry, bro, but I'm going to fuck up the ending, right? Yeah, the ship, it don't make it. There's a reason why there's not Titanic Part 2. Revenge of Titanic. So we all remember the end of the film, innit? Where you got Rose, she's on the door, innit? She's on the door, right? And she's looking down at Jack, and she's all like, hold on, Jack. Hold on. Come on, that's a pretty good Kate Winslet impression, huh? Yeah? Only 6 years at drama school, yeah? And still 80,000 in debt. so hold on, Jack. And then you got Jack in it. He's holding onto the door like that. Don't forget me, Rose. Don't forget me. And she's like, no, Jack, no, I'll never forget you. I love you, Jack. I love you. It's like, come on, Rose, move some of them bloody Oscars, man. Come on, let him on. Let him on, right? But she don't let him on. She's like, oh, I love you. And he's like, oh, I love you. She's like, oh, I love you. And then he's suddenly like this, and he... And then you got Rose, innit? Just like... So, Jack, I will never love again. My heart will go on. Sharks start jumping out of the water behind her, wearing turbans. Yeah. Fireworks start going off in the sky again, yeah? The elephant appears in a dinghy, just like... Sorry, wrong scene. And just goes off again, yeah? Every film would be better if we made it into a Bollywood film, innit? Schindler's List. Okay, let's move on. I don't want to start the show like that, right? So it's like, it's no surprise, is there? There's no surprise. I was named after a Bollywood legend, yeah? And I loved watching Bollywood films. There's no surprise that as a kid, I wanted to be an actor when I grew up, right? But when I told my parents that I wanted to be an actor, it was the first time in my life that I had to question what I was. Because my white friends, they'd tell their parents that they wanted to be actors, and their parents would be like, very good, Jimmy, we'll send you to drama class on the weekend. You can be an actor. In fact, Jimmy, you can be whatever you want to be. If you can dream it, you can be it. Just for the record, Jimmy is unemployed at the moment after getting out of prison. So... But it was a different story when I told my parents, yeah? It was a different story. Because I looked at my parents, I was like, Mom, Dad, can I be an actor when I grow up? And my dad looked at me straight away like, no acting. No acting. You acting, me schmacting, yeah? And then I was like, well, what, Dad? Well, if you didn't want me to be an actor, why did you name me after an actor? Yeah? What do you want me to be? And my dad, just like this, was like, doctor! I know it's an Asian stereotype, yeah? But it's an Asian stereotype with a good annual wage. So then I was like, well, Dad, if you wanted me to be a doctor, why didn't you name me after a doctor, yeah? Why didn't you name me something like Spock? Or Pepper? Or Dre? That even sounds fucking cool, doesn't it? Yeah? But you know, actually, there was another time that I had to question my own identity. And it was before that, and that was because of religion, right? Because I was brought up not with one religion. No. Not with two religions. Nah, that would be too easy, innit? Nah. I was brought up following 3 different religions. Yeah. And it didn't harm me in any way, did it? I need the attention. That's why I'm here. Now, the first religion I was brought up with was Sikhism. Yeah? Do people know Sikhism? Beautiful. Yeah, I fucking love being back in Berlin and doing this show because people know different religions here, yeah? Like, I was out of Berlin in another part of Germany doing some comedy one time, and then after the show, this guy was talking to me, and we started talking about our backgrounds, and then I told him that I was brought up Sikh, right? And then he just looked at me like, really? Are you feeling better now, yeah? Did you try the Western medicine, yeah? So shut up, bro, right? But Sikhism, if you don't know about Sikhism, it's a pretty young religion, yeah? Compared to religions. It's about 500 years old, yeah? And it kind of came out of Hinduism, right? To get rid of the caste system and provide more equality, yeah? A very peaceful religion. They don't believe in that traditional image of a god, yeah? Which is usually a dude, yeah? With a big beard, just going, look at me! I am God! Look at me! No, they don't believe in that. They believe in an entity, yeah? An entity that they believe every other religion prays to, but just calls it a different name. And that's cool. You do you, we do we, yeah? Fucking cool, man. First major religion to have female priests, yeah? Hashtag feminism back in the day, yeah? Very peaceful religion, right? They do carry knives, so don't mess with them. Because they will shank you at any opportunity at the same time, yeah? Yeah, I got the scars. I've been to the Indian weddings, right? Thank you, Uncle Jeff. So I was brought up with Sikhism, and you know what? I feel quite privileged having that in my early life because I hold a lot of those ethics to this day, right? I was also brought up with Hinduism, right? Do people know Hinduism? Oh, yeah, man. I love Hinduism, man. I call Hinduism the Walt Disney on acid of religions. Yeah, man. Because there's some crazy stuff. Because the Hindus, they don't believe in that traditional image of a god, yeah? Just a dude with a beard going, I am God, look at me. I'm not insecure, honestly. Look at me. No, the Hindus don't believe in one god. No, the Hindus have got a whole sticker album full of gods, yeah? A whole Panini football album full of gods, yeah? They've got so many gods, it's like Pokemon God, right? You gotta catch them all, yeah? You've got one on your shoulder right now, mate. Yeah, and the Hindus, they don't believe in that traditional image of a dude, a boring god, like, look at me, I am God, look at me. Nah, the Hindus, they have monkey gods. Yeah. Monkey gods, yeah? And it's not just like a boring, stupid monkey in a tree eating a banana. No. This is a warrior monkey, yeah? Yeah, man. And he's got a crew with him, yeah? And they go around fighting injustice, man, yeah? This is way before Avengers, man, yeah? Marvel taking my culture, right? And then you got elephant gods, yeah? But not like a boring, stupid Dumbo elephant, yeah? In a dinghy. Nah, this elephant god's got 6 arms, yeah, man. Yeah, those Hindus smoke some good ganja. And then you got like Rama and Sita, and this is why we celebrate Diwali every year. And we light the candles so they can find their way home, and they're all blue and shit, yeah? Yeah, this is way before Avatar, right? All the Smurfs, right? And then my dad got a better paying job, yeah? Which meant that we could move out of the ghetto where we lived, right? And my dad moved us into a white neighbourhood, right? Because in the 70s and the 80s in the UK, it was a status symbol, yeah? To live in the white community, yeah? It was like, hey, look at us. We live with Whitey. We've got money. And a video recorder. And yeah. So my dad, he got really paranoid that me and my brothers and sisters would be able to fit into English society, even though we were English, right? So he sent us to a Church of England school, right? Yeah, exactly, yeah. But fair play to my dad, man. Fair play to my dad. I don't think he saw Church of. I think he just saw England. And he thought, this is good enough for my children, right? But that meant that I went from all these different images of gods, yeah, like entities, yeah, and monkey gods, yeah, and elephant gods, yeah, and Rama and Sita, like Blue Lives Matter gods, right? I went from these wonderful images of religion to this one. I'm here because of you. I'm here because of you and your dirty little sins. Yeah, man. And that terrified me, man. I ain't gonna share with you, man. That terrified me. Because in Sikhism, we don't have the concept of sin. We don't have it, right? So suddenly, I'm being introduced to something by my teachers who I'm supposed to believe, yeah? And I'm being told that I'm born with something called sin, yeah? And God and Jesus can look into my mind and see all my dirty thoughts, yeah? And I had a lot of dirty thoughts, right? I still do. Hey, right. So I was terrified of Jesus and God, man. I was, man. And to the point that I wouldn't have nightmares about the things my buddies were having nightmares about, yeah? Like Freddy Krueger or Jason or Margaret Thatcher. And bitch took our milk, man. What the fuck? Right. Yeah, no, I would have nightmares about Jesus, yeah? coming to get me because of my sins and stuff, right? Yeah, and every night, I'd have the same reoccurring nightmare, man. Same reoccurring nightmare. I'd be running down some corridor, right? Just running, yeah? And then suddenly, Jesus would appear behind me, yeah? And it'd just whisper in my ear, Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the sin of an Indian. And it started chasing me, right? But the faster I'd go, the faster he'd get. And the faster he'd get, the faster I'd have to go. And every single night, the same thing would happen, right? Just before he was going to catch me, right? This door would appear out of nowhere, right? And I would run through the door, right? And then Jesus, he couldn't fit through. He'd be like... Next time, son. And then they'd just cartwheel away and just mess with some other kid, right? Yeah, I hope hell doesn't really exist. But you know, there was a positive of that school and going to that school. And that was that the majority of the other kids in that school were from Irish heritage, yeah? And they were first generation. Like me and my brothers and sisters were first generation. So we got to connect to the point that I didn't even realise that Dharmander is not an English name, yeah? Yeah, I thought Dharmander was a normal British name because traditional Irish names are all friggy-diggy as well, right? You know, I mean, O'Sheen and Siobhan, right? Sicilian, right? So I thought, Dharmander, this is just a British name, innit? Until I went to high school, right? Because I had to go to a different high school to all my buddies, right? So I turned up there alone, right? And I remember seeing this kid and thinking, okay, be cool. First day of school, be cool, right? And, all right. And this kid's like, all right. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Okay, what's your name? And he's like, my name's Richard. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Richard and Dharmander, best friends forever, yeah. Private investigators. Right? I watched a lot of TV, right? And then he looked at me and he was like, hey, what's your name? And I was like, I'm Dharmander. And he was like, Amanda. Your name is Amanda. Lads, come over here, man. This Packy's got a girl's name. I was like, what's a Packy? Right? Because I'd never heard that racial slur before, right? But what I worked out really quickly was, whoa, wait. Not all white people are the same. And these white people are not the same as the white people I went to primary school with. And you know what? I don't like these white people. They scare me, man. So I looked around and then I saw a bunch of brown kids, right? And I was like, yeah, okay. And I walked up to the first kid, man, and I was like, oi, all right, what's your name? And he was like, my name's Matab. And I was like, yeah, that's weird enough. Come on, bro. Let's be buddies. And then the beautiful thing is that me and Matab actually, we really connected, yeah? And we sat together in our first lesson, yeah? And then we went together on break and we just hung out, right? And then we went to second class as well and really connected. Then we went to lunch and then we're in the lunch line, yeah? And Matab, he gets some chips. So I get some chips, right? And I'm like, oh, chip, buddy. I was a very excitable child, right? I still am. And then he gets some beans, right? So I got some beans, right? And I'm like, oh, Matab and Dharmander, private investigators. And then he got some fish fingers, but I don't eat fish fingers, so I got some sausages, right? And then he stopped me straight away. And he was like, yo, mate, you eat sausages? And I was like, yeah, I love them. And he was like, but aren't you a Muslim? And I was like, what's a Muslim? I just found out I'm a Paki, right? And then I didn't think about it at all, right? And we finished our lunch together, and then Matab, he had to go to the bathroom, so I went back to class, right? And then I sat down, and I saved Matab's seat, yeah? And then Matab, he comes into the classroom, and he just walks past me. Doesn't look at me, doesn't acknowledge me, and he goes and sits with the original group of kids that he was sitting with. And it's an image, and it's an emotion that stuck with me for many years, because it was the first time in my life that I really didn't want to be what I was. To the point that I didn't even know what I was, but I didn't want to be it, right? So I tried to change, right? I tried to change. And what do you do when you try to change? Usually you change your name, innit? That's the first thing you do, yeah? Cassius Clay turned into Muhammad Ali, yeah? Kanye West turned into Yeezy, Jeezy, Kill the Jewsy, and Sean Combs turned into Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Prisoner 7431. So I changed my name. So I changed my name from Dharmander, which is a wonderful 3-syllable spicy masala sounding name. I changed it from Dharmander to Dazza. No, do not cheer that. Now, some people are looking angry. You can punch me later, brother. You can punch me later, right? Yeah, man, I tell people my name was Dazza Singh, right? But like, what's your name? Dazza Singh. No, really, bro, what's your name? Dazza Singh. No, what's your name? Dazza Singh! Okay, give this kid a pill, man, right? But luckily, even as a little kid, I worked out very quickly that this face does not belong to Dazza Singh. No. And Dazza Singh doesn't even sound like a name, does it? It sounds like an STD or something, correct? Yo, why is he itching so much? I think he's got the Dazza Singhs. Sharda. So I went back to Dharmander, yeah? And then as I grew, my name started to grow, yeah? And as I evolved, my name started to evolve organically. So I went from Dharmander to Dharma, yeah? And from Dharma to Dharms. And from Dharms to Dar, yeah? And that's my name now. Everyone knows me as Dar, my family, my friends. And I think we're all friends here now, yeah? I did the bit about religion. No one got angry. Tried to throw a slipper at me. We're cool, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a Birmingham, all right, everybody. And then I want all of you guys, as loud as you can, just to scream, all right, da! And we'll be a proper family then, yeah? So, all right, everybody. All right, da! I am. Thanks for asking. You guys are sweet, right? But you know what? Without realising it, changing my name to Dar, that's helped me out, you know. That's really helped me out. Because without realising it, Dar actually means something in pretty much every single language. Every language has a meaning for Dar. So I go to different countries and people connect with me for what Dar means in their language, yeah? For example, in Irish, any Irish people in the house? Okay, just 2 of them, right? That's why we still have alcohol. This is nice. And so you guys will back me up. Dar in Irish means father, yeah? It means father, yeah? So every time I go to Ireland, they bloody love me. Yeah, man. They'll come up to me after the show like, hey, funny man. What's your name again? And then I'll be all like, I'm your dad. Really? Me ma said you died in a car crash. Where's me pocket money for all these years? Yeah. I never come back from Ireland with change in my pockets, man, right? In Eastern European languages, yeah, da means yes, yeah? Da means yes. So every time an Eastern European person asks me my name, they just think I'm stupid. They'll come up, they'll be like, hey, what is your name? Da. Okay. But what is your name? Da. Okay, this one I think is retarded. But no one told me, no one ever told me that in Germany, da, it's a direction, isn't it? It means over there. So the first time a German asked me my name, I really confused the hell out of them, right? This German dude, he comes up to me, he's like, hello! He was a polite German. Hello! Was ist dein Name? What is your name, right? And I look back at this dude, man, I'm like, hello! Because I believe integration is important, right? You got to fit in to get on in it. You got to fit in to get on, right? And I was like, my Name is da! Entschuldigung? Ja! Wo ist dein Name? Where is your name, right? I'm like, no, my Name is da. Ja, aber wo? No, my Name is da. Ja, wo? Da, ja, wo? Da, wo? Da, wo? Da, wo? Da, wo? Da, wo? Da, wo? And that is how Berlin minimal techno was invented, right? We got techno fans in, I like it. So, another privilege I've had is that I got brothers and sisters, right? Brothers and sisters who I could look up to, right? In fact, if you are the oldest sibling, make some noise. Make some noise. Yeah. The worst of the siblings, aren't they, right? They think they're better than you. I was here first. It's all mine. Kind of shit, right? Yeah. If you are the youngest of the siblings, make some noise. They're even worse than the oldest, aren't they, right? Always asking for your shit, taking you. I know you, Leonard, right? Yeah. Yeah, if you are the middle one of the siblings, make some noise. Yeah, that's why I like you, Leonard. That's why I like you, yeah? Because that's the beautiful thing, right? Having older brothers and a younger brother, because I could take all those roles, yeah? And also, my older brother would always look out for me, because my dad would work 6 days a week to support the family. And I remember this one time, my brother noticed that I was going through something in my head, right? So he came up to me, right? And he's like, oi, what's wrong with you, gay boy? Because, you know, it was the 80s. And I was like, bro, what am I? Am I English or am I Indian? And this kid at school, he called me a packet. What am I? And my brother was like, you want to know what you are? I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, you want me to tell you what you are? I was like, yeah. And he was like, give me 50 pence. My brother's proper Indian, right? So I went off and I found my little brother and I got 50 pence off him, right? Because it's a pyramid scheme, right? I like you guys, man. And then I went and found my older brother. I gave him the 50 pence. And my older brother's like, so you want me to tell you what you are? I was like, yeah, what am I? He's like, you sure you want to know what you are? I was like, yeah, what am I? He's like, you're adopted. Piss off, man. What I said about older brothers, yeah? Now you believe me. Now you believe me. But I must have been going through something. Because my dad noticed there was something wrong with me, right? So it must have been a Sunday. Because that's the only day he didn't work. So he noticed there was something wrong, so he came up to me and he was like, hey, Gioia, gay boy. And what's happened, gay boy? It's the 80s. He was trying to fit in. And I was like, Dad, what am I? Dad, am I English or am I Indian? And before I could say it, he stopped me. He said, no, you are not Indian. You're Punjabi. I was like, what? Because I'd never heard that phrase, Punjabi, before, right? And when I say Punjabis, I'm not saying hand jobbies, right? I know it's Berlin. So I know what a hand jobby is. Had to get some smut into it, right? So Punjabis are people from the region of the Punjab. And the region of the Punjab was a region of India, right? But when the British Empire realised that they were going to lose control of India, they decided to split India into India and Pakistan to destroy Gandhi's dream of a unified India, right? And they split it right through the region of Punjab, right? Without thinking of the consequences that would happen to people on either side of the border. Consequences that are still going on to this day, right? And when I learned that history, it actually made me realise how ridiculous man-made borders can be. Because if the British had decided that the border of Pakistan would be here instead of there, then my parents, the villages they were born in, would have been in Pakistan. And they would have been born Pakistan nationals. And their journey might have been very different to what it is today. And also, in the 80s, the Indian government and the Sikh communities were really going at it, right? They still are. So my dad was very anti-Indian, right? But another privilege I've had, for all these times when I really don't know, am I English? Am I Indian? Am I Punjabi? Am I a Paki? What am I? I've always known that I'm a Brummie, yeah? Thank you, one person. And he's seen the show 3 times as well, right? But Brummies are people from the city of Birmingham, right? And Birmingham, UK, is the second largest city in the UK, yeah? And Birmingham is situated right in the middle of England, right? And because of our accents, right? And because of where we're situated, the people in the south think we're stupid. The people in the north think we're stupid, yeah? Even the Welsh think we're stupid. And that's saying something, isn't it, right? I'm sorry if you're Welsh, right? No, seriously, I'm sorry if you're Welsh. Which means that because of all that, Brummies, we've really developed a self-deprecating sense of humour, yeah? We really know how to take the piss out of each other, right? And also we're known to be really welcoming people. And I always used to be, you know what, Birmingham till I die. Till I die. Birmingham, right? But then something started happening. Things started happening which made me question, am I changing? Or is my city changing? Right? Just let me explain it. Right. So I'm walking back from some shitty temp job, right? So I'm there with this South Asian lad. And we're talking about the Sparkbrook area of Birmingham, right? And the Sparkbrook area of Birmingham is the area where my parents moved to when they came to England, and this kid's parents moved to when they came to England, right? And actually, historically, the Sparkbrook area of Birmingham has always been the area where the new immigrants come and settle, right? So first it was the Irish, and then you got the Indians and the Pakistanis, and then the Africans and the Jamaicans, and then the Polish and the Romanians. And the beautiful thing about this revolving door is that when these immigrants make enough money, they leave and make space for the new immigrants. And then the new immigrants come and revitalise the area. Yeah, they revitalise the area. This is something that people don't talk about when it comes to immigration, isn't it? It's all about what do they take. It's not about what do they get. This is turning into a TED talk, isn't it? This diagram here will show the net immigrant. So me and this kid, we're really vibing, man. We're really connecting. It's like, yeah, the Black Horse pub. Me and my cousins, we used to play there every weekend. And then suddenly, out of nowhere it seems, he looks at me and he's like, yeah, man, but bro, it's changed now, innit? It ain't the same, innit? Now it's fucking Somalia town, innit? Yeah, man. And I was like, what? He's like, man, you fucking heard me, man. It's fucking Somalia town. Now, if it said to me, hey, mate, it's Somalia town, I don't think I would have said anything. Because you can have Chinatown, can't you? You can have Little Italy. But it's because he said, it's fucking Somalia town, that I felt compelled to question him. So I was like, what do you mean by that, bro? And he's like, you know what I mean, innit, bro? It's these fucking Somalians, innit? Coming over to our country, innit? Our country. With their funny food, their funny language. They open their shops, they open their restaurants. They don't even bother trying to speak English, innit? They should go back to where they come from. And I was like, bro, you know what you're saying right now? What you're saying right now is exactly the same shit that white people were saying about my parents and your parents. Not even 30 years ago, man. And then, fair play, he thought about it. And then he looked at me and he was like, yeah, man, what a bunch of racists and white people are, innit? And you know what? I'm embarrassed to say, but I didn't have the tools to deal with that conversation back then, right? So I just walked away. And as I walked away, honestly, it broke my heart, man. It honestly broke my heart. That within one generation, we had forgotten the pain, the struggle, the hatred our parents had to deal with to give us a better life. And we'd already started passing it on to a new community. And it wasn't just this kid, man. It was other people, right? So I thought, you know what? I got to get out of my city, man. I got to get out of my city. I love this city. I'm going to go somewhere else, though, man. I'll go somewhere that's not so racist, somewhere that probably hasn't even got a history of racism. I know. You're way ahead of me, aren't you, with this one, right? You're way ahead of me, right? I was like, fuck it, let's go Germany, man, right? But it was crazy, you know. When I decided to move to Germany, I realised how xenophobic English people can really be, man. English people can be so xenophobic. Because when I told people I was moving to Germany, people were saying shit like this to me. Well, you want to move Germany, mate? We won the war. Well, you want to go Loserville, mate? Well, you want to go Loserville? They're like, shut up, brah. No, seriously, man. Why you want to go Germany, man? Ain't you them racists there, ain't they? There's some Nazis there, ain't it? Nazis, man. Just shut up, will ya? Nah, seriously, it's that Hitler fella, ain't it? That Hitler fella. You're going to get Hitlered by a Nazi, ain't it? I was like, shut up. That doesn't even make sense. Nah, seriously. Shut up, Dad. Give me a break. Right. actually, when I told my dad I was leaving, I looked in his eye, and there was a real sadness in my dad's eyes. Because I almost could read his mind. And in his mind, he was almost looking at me going, but we worked so hard to get you here. And now you're leaving? And then he just looked at me and he was like, so, do you need some money? And I was like, nah, man. He was like, goodbye then, goodbye. But you know what? When I came to Berlin, I had to actually question my own prejudice, right? Because everybody has got prejudices. Everyone has got prejudices. And at the moment, we live in a society of cancel culture that no one can accept or admit of a prejudice, right? And my prejudice when I came to Berlin was I thought I was going to be the coolest kid in school, right? I thought I was going to come to Berlin and all the Germans would have mullets, right? Yeah. And stonewashed jeans, yeah? Dancing to David Hasselhoff, right? But I come to this city and I realise I have never been to such a liberal, open place, yeah? And I met lots of friendly people, yeah? I look at people who are looking at me like, friendly people, really? Yeah. Nah, man, Berlin is a friendly place. Don't get me wrong, like, yeah, Germans sometimes can do that stereotype of Scheiße, yeah? Especially if you're walking the bike lane, right? That's when they start being so liberal and cool, right? Like when I first got here, I didn't know about the bike lane rule, right? I'm walking in the bike lane, people are like, hello! I'm like, all right, mate. Nate, hello! So Germans aren't friendly, they're really friendly, right? Another time you see that, and this isn't Germans actually, this is Berliners, right? And I'm a Berliner as well. The only time, Berliners, we're cool, we're chill, right? The only time you really see us freak out is on public transport, innit? On the U-Bahn and shit, right? That's when we lose our cool. And that's because I think in Berlin, we don't have barriers on our public transport, do we? We don't have barriers on our public transport. Where every other major city I've ever been to, they have barriers on their public transport because they don't trust you to buy a ticket. But not here in Berlin. No. Now, my friend told me about this, that Berlin used to be called the city of the working person, yeah? So they know that we know that when we buy a ticket, that money goes back into the system. The system for the public transport. A system for everyone, yeah? Not just poor people. I go to other countries, only poor people are on public transport, and that's why the public transport sucks there. But not in Berlin, no. I love it, man. On a Monday morning, you'll see a guy in a suit drinking a coffee on the U-Bahn, yeah? Going to the office, sitting next to a punk, drinking a warm Sternberg, right? With a dog on a string, right? Sitting next to someone who's just come out of a techno club after 3 days, like, just drinking their own shame, right? Yeah, man. We don't have barriers here in Berlin because they know that we know when we buy a ticket, the money goes back into the system, which means that no one really buys a ticket here, do they? We don't buy no fucking tickets here. Yeah. So the only time you really see Berliners really freak out is when they hear the word Fahrkarte bitte! Yeah, man, yeah. Look, I freak out when I hear the word Fahrkarte bitte, yeah? And I have a monthly Fahrkarte. Yeah, man. I'll hear Fahrkarte bitte. I'll be like, wait a minute, I got a ticket. Sorry about that, man. Just a force of habit, really. Force of habit. Right. But you know what? Since I've been able to afford to have a monthly ticket, now I bloody love the Fahrkarte controllers. I do, man. Now they're my buddies, man. Because as soon as they get on the train now, as a social experiment, you can tell instantly who hasn't got a ticket. Right? Yeah, man, I love it, right? And because the Fahrkarte controllers, they're sneaky little fuckers as well, aren't they? Because they don't wear no costume or shit, do they? Nah, they just dress like me or you, right? And then they don't reveal themselves to you until the doors are closed, innit? Yeah, so you can't go nowhere, right? And then they reveal themselves like a Disney villain or something, right? Farcard, bitte! Yeah, man, yeah. But I was on the train the other day, and there was this geezer, proper Casanova, man, proper Casanova. He's there with this woman, right? And he's there, Du bist meine Zukunft. You are my future. Zusammen, zusammen. For immer, for immer. Together, together. Forever, forever. Du bist mein baby cakes. You are my baby cakes. Sorry, my German's not that good. And then I'm looking at this geezer like, oh, check out, someone's getting laid tonight, right? And then the Farcard controllers get on the train, yeah? They wait for the door to close. And then they're like, Farcard, bitte! This geezer, he screams like, ah! Like it's some Munch painting or something, right? He's like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone, like, ah! Kevin a line on the fucking U-Bahn, right? He looks at the Farcard controllers, he picks up the woman, he throws her at the Farcard controller. He's like, you're on your own, baby cakes! Kind of Farcard! And then he just starts running, running down the train. It was one of these long trains, right? But this guy's a fucking idiot, man. This guy's a fool, right? Because he's forgotten where he is. And he's forgotten what the Farcard controllers are. This is Germany. They are German. Which means they are efficient. Logical. And they work in packs. Like the velociraptors in Jurassic Park, isn't it, right? So he just starts running down his train like fickadish, right? Check out my German, good, huh? Oh, that's beautiful. So he's just running down the train, right? Getting away from the Farcard controller. But he doesn't realise that the other Farcard controller is here, just disguised in a poster, yeah? Like he's Rambo or some shit, right? And it was the alt-act, so it was a poster for genital warts. And then this Farcard controller, he just waits. He's just waiting until the guy's about to pass him. And then he just comes straight out of the poster, just like... Farcard, bitte! And then the two Farcard controllers just jumped him, yeah? Took 60 euros off him to the soundtrack of Jurassic Park. Yeah. While me and all the other Berliners are just sitting there watching him like, he should have got a ticket, really, yeah. Auslander, yeah. And... But you know now. Now I know that Berliners are scared of the phrase Farcard bitte, yeah? I use it all the fucking time, right? Yeah, if the train is too packed and shit, right? I wait till the doors are just about to close. I just shout, Farcard bitte! Half the train jumps off, right? I could just pirouette in the fucking U-Bahn, you know what I mean? It's my new hobby, pirouetting in the U-Acht, right? Yeah, certain train stations, you know when people are getting on that no one's got a ticket, like Cottbus tour, yeah? No one's got a ticket, so they'll get on the train like, don, 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 and I'll just be like, Farcard bitte, and they're like, don, 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 don. Shh. Yeah, man. I don't even just use it on the train, man. I use it all over the place. The other day I was in the supermarket. There was a big queue of people. Fuck off, bitch! Everyone was just ran out of the supermarket. I went to the front of the queue, paid for my oranges. It was fine, man, yeah? But fuck hard bitter. But it wasn't actually all hunky-dory when I first moved to Berlin, actually. Because when I first moved to Berlin, I had to question my identity again after a long, long time. But actually, I didn't have to question it. Certain Germans would question what I was, right? Because when I first moved to Germany, I think there were some Germans who thought that people from England either looked like Downtown Abbey or Mr. Bean. Yeah. People like me did not exist, right? And I know this is true because I remember this one time, this German guy, he comes up to me, he's like, woher kommst du? Right? And I'm like, ich komme aus England. And then he gave me a weird Scooby-Doo look, right? Remember the cartoon Scooby-Doo, yeah? Yeah, the dog and the stoner and the menage a trois. And you guys are dirty, man. I like you, right? Yes, yeah, but whenever he'd see a ghost, he'd be like, Scooby-Doo, right? So this guy, I told him I was from England, and he was like, Scooben-Dooben. And then I looked at him, I was like, hey, was ist los? What's wrong, mate? Was ist los? But I knew what was loose, man. That was loose, right? And then he looked at me and he was like, but you do not look English. Naughty boy. And I was like, what? What do you mean I don't look English? What do you want me to do to look more English for you? Do you want me to wear a bowler hat? Yeah? Drink a cup of tea? Yeah? Which is Indian tea, by the way, right? Enough English tea, right? The Indians are going to come and take their tea back one day, yeah? As well as the Queen's hat. Yeah, they'll dig her up for it. And, yeah. Will that make me more English for you, huh? What do you want me to do to look more English for you? Do you want me to sing some football hooligan songs, yeah? Trash the shit out of this place, yeah? Even though my team won 4-0, right? Will that make me more English for you? What do you want me to do to look more English for you? Do you want me to go into that corner over there and colonise it? And then complain about immigrants? Yeah, man. And then this geezer, he started getting really embarrassed, man. He started getting really embarrassed. And because for some reason, and I don't know why, but for some reason, and I still don't know why, Germans don't like to come across as racist. I don't know why. And I do know why. So I started fucking with this guy because I'm an idiot, right? And then this guy got really, really embarrassed, and he was nein, come Klaus, come Klaus, you're letting down the team. Don't be racismus. Remember what happened last time? And we've been doing so good for so many years. Think of the Mannschaft. Oh, I know what to say. Entschuldigung. What I meant to say was, don't be racist. What is your background? Is that racist? No, very good. What is your background, brown man? Now, every single sun-kissed person in this room, every single sun-kissed person, because I hate that term, they call us coloured. We're all coloured, right? We all have colour, yeah? Except for Zuckerberg, he's translucent. And, right. But yeah, every sun-kissed person in this room has had that question in it. What is your background? And you know what? 9 out of 10 times, I think that's quite an innocent innocent question of intrigue, yeah? But when you've heard it as many times as I've heard it, all I hear is, what is your background? Open brackets. Why aren't you white again? Close brackets. So I looked at this dude. I was like, Klaus, you want to know my background? I'm so sorry, I didn't understand your question. Now I understand your question. I can answer you honestly. My background is computer science and English literature. I know I'm a foreigner, but I'm not here for your job. Here's my CV, though, just in case. And then this guy got really embarrassed, right? He was like, ah! So I just grabbed him, yeah? And I lifted him up. And I just pulled him right to my face. And I was like, you want to know why I'm brown, innit? And he was like, yeah, bitteschön, yeah. You say you're from England. There is no sun in England. So why are you brown? And can I touch it? Sharp, double spicy. And then I had to explain to this dude, man, I'm English, man. I was born in England, right? Yeah? But I get this beautiful colour from my parents who were born in a tiny little country that not many people have heard of. It's called India, right? Full of Indians and cows. And which makes me Indian English, ain't it? It makes me Indian English, yeah? Or English Indian if I'm going through an airport. And definitely English Indian then, right? Which makes me multicultural, right? And I love being multicultural. I think it's a superpower, right? Because I can take the best and the worst from both of my cultures, right? And do we have any other multicultural people in the house? Make some noise! Okay, so we're outnumbered. No, so, well, when I first came to Germany, even the phrase multicultural was a bit too racist for some Germans. It was crazy for me. It really freaks me out. But you know what? Fair play to the Germans for that. Because the Germans actually, I really understand why they're so sensitive about racism. Because the Germans are taught in school the true history of their country. The true recent history of what their great-grandparents may or may not have done. Yeah? With the hope that if they learn of the past, they won't repeat the same mistakes. And it's been doing so well until recently, right? Because you know what? In England, they don't ever teach us the true history of England. Nah. When I went to school, they never taught me how it went from being Britain to Great Britain. From Britain to Great Britain. No. All they taught me at school was the British Empire went around the world, taught everyone English and Shakespeare, ate cucumber sandwiches, and played some cricket. Yeah? I speak to my American buddies, man, and all my American buddies say exactly the same thing. In school, they're not taught the true history of how their country was really founded. All they're taught is Christopher Columbus, he went on a boat trip, innit? He met some Indians. They ate some turkey. And now you've got the Statue of Liberty and Kim Kardashian. The history of the United States, right? And for me, if we did teach our children the true histories of our countries, I feel that people would have more empathy for people trying to come into... This is definitely turning into a TED Talk now. Okay, this is the final thing. Yeah, so like when I first moved here to Germany, like the word multiculturalism was a bit too uncomfortable for some Germans, to the point that they wouldn't say multicultural, yeah? They'd say multiculti. Do people remember the multiculti years of 2012? Yeah? 2012. I loved it. You wouldn't have a multicultural centre. You'd have a multiculti centre. You wouldn't have a multicultural dance event. You'd have a multiculti dance event. Yeah? And I know this had something to do with race. It had something to do with race because the Germans didn't do this with any other word. No, multicultural turned into multiculti. They didn't call mentally handicapped people menti-handies. Hey, what's wrong with him? He's menti-handy. Shada. Still going to be the next American president, though, isn't he? Like, yeah, man, multicultural turned into multiculti. So then I'm like, what? I've been English, I've been Indian, I've been a Punjabi, I've been a Brummie, I've been a Paki, and now I'm a multiculti, right? That doesn't even sound like a people, does it? That sounds like a vitamin drink or something. You want a beer? Nah, man, I'm watching my belly, man. Give me a multiculti, right? No ice, though, it's a con. And, yeah, man. And it made me think, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with my children, right? If my multiculti is too much, right? Because I've got this little set of twins, yeah? A little boy and a little girl, right? And they are my heart. They are my life, right? And their mum, my partner, is German-Polish, right? I say my partner, she's not my partner anymore. Now she's my wifey. Check it out! Singy got a ringy! Singy got a... You can tell I'm a stand-up comedian. That's my wedding finger, right? You should see the wedding pictures. Right. But she's not just my wifey. It's not about possession, is it? It's not about possession. She's German-Polish, so she's my Schmetterling. Yeah, man, check me out, right? If you don't speak German, shame on you! But Schmetterling, it means butterfly, doesn't it? It means butterfly, right? But she's not just my Schmetterling. She's German. So since Brexit, she's like my visa. I think that means visa in every language, right? So she's like German Polish, I'm Indian English. So my little babies are German Polish, Indian English, yeah? Yeah. They're like tutti frutti multiculti. Yeah. Sounds like an ice cream flavour, doesn't it? But not a good one, a vegan one, right? So we've done Dharmander Singh, right? Dharmander Singh, that's me. We've done Bollywood, ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding, yeah? We've done Birmingham, all right, mate, right? We've done Berlin, yeah? Hello! And now let's get to Brexit, right? Yeah, man. This part of the show actually is my favourite part of the show because every single year, like I said, I've been doing this show for a long time now. Every single year, this is the part of the show that changes. Like Brexit has changed, right? And I remember when Brexit first happened, right? With the vote. I remember going to bed that night thinking, hey, we got this in the bag, man. We're in America. We're going to be fine. So I went to bed and I got up the next day and I put on the TV and I was like, Scooby-Doo, right? Scooby-fucking-Doo. And it really freaked me out when Brexit happened, right? Because I'd been living here for like 6 years. I had a life here. So I was like, no. What? No. Don't send me back to the island. I don't want to go back to a third world country, right? I like the public transport here. It's good, right? You know. But then the day of Brexit, though, the day of Brexit actually happening, though, the Berlin government, they sorted me out. On the day of Brexit actually happening, the Berlin government, they sent me a letter giving me permanent residency, everyone! Permanent residency! Yeah, man! If you didn't clap at that, you're AFD. And like, more permanent residency. And yeah, man, they sent me a letter. It was like, yeah! You can stay. We need more brown people in the city who aren't Turkish. I was like, Salam alaikum, Habibi. Welche Soße, bitte? Yeah. But you know what? When Brexit did happen, though, it made me realise again how privileged I've been in my life. How bloody privileged I've been. Also because of a decision that my parents made before I was even born. And that decision was moving from this part of the world over to this part of the world. So when eventually I was born with a piece of paper called the British passport, yeah? A piece of paper that allowed me to cross borders and go places where people of my colour couldn't go, yeah? And then I thought, I'm going to have this taken away from me, right? And even with Brexit, I know the British passport, it's got some clout, especially with my Indian friends, yeah? And when I say Indian friends, I mean real Indians, yeah? Straight from the source, right? Because they'll talk to me and they'll be like, hey, Dharmander, because they know how to say it, right? Dharmander, you lucky bastard. Lucky bastard, huh? British passport, huh? British passport. Hey. Let me touch it. Taste of guilt. And potatoes. And I thought, what, man? Suddenly my right to travel might be stopped. Because that is one of the greatest privileges we have as human beings. Is the right to travel, yeah? To go to different places. Because for me personally, travelling is a great way to sort out the prejudices that you have. Go and check out the places for yourself, yeah? Because what I've realised in all these years of travel is that most people that I meet want the same kind of things, yeah? They want the same kind of things. Doesn't matter what country I go to. If people are parents, they want a better life for their kids, yeah? They want an easier life for their kids. If people are single, they're looking for a connection of some sort. That might be religion, music, sex, drugs. In Berlin, all four. And if people are in a relationship, they're looking to keep that connection, yeah? Or maybe bringing someone else in. Again, we're in Berlin, right? And what I've realised in travelling this planet for so many years is certain things are always the same. For example, no matter where I go, bus drivers are always bastards, yeah? Now, I'm sorry if you're a bus driver out there. You are being a beautiful person right now. But as soon as you get in your bus, you're a bastard to me, right? And here's my proof. I was in England not too long ago, right? And I'm sitting on the bus, right? And I'm sitting near the front of the bus. I'm getting all nostalgic, right? And shit. And there I am. And then I'm looking at the bus driver, right? And then suddenly this kid starts running for the bus, right? And he's actually like, driver, hold the door. And the driver, I see him watching him. He's watching him. He's watching him. And he waits till the kid is a foot away from the door. And he's like, piss off. And he just drives off, man. Bastard, isn't it? Bastard, right? It's not just buses, though. I was in Paris, right? I'm on the tram, right? Again, sitting near the front. I'm looking at the driver. This kid starts running for the tram. He's like, hold the tram. Hold the tram. Check out my French. And the driver's just there watching him. And the kid's a foot away from the door. And he's like, piss a little. And it just goes off. And I'm thinking, bastard, man, bastard, right? But you know what? Those people who run for the bus or the train, they're my favourite people. Because they still have hope. And that's what we need in this world these days, isn't it? We need a little bit of hope, yeah. And I see these people every single day in Berlin, right? And actually, I'll watch out for them. I call them the door battlers, yeah. God bless you. The door battlers, yeah. And you'll see them as well, to the point that I've made a league of these door battlers. The bottom of the league is the losers. They never make the door. You'll have seen them before, and actually you're sick. You're like, fuckers. And I'll be at Alexanderplatz. I'll be on the train, and then the door will go, and that's when they appear out of the shadows. Always carrying Primark bags for some reason. And the door goes, and then they start running for the door, hold the door, hold the door. And just before they get to the door closes, yeah, and they bang their heads. And the bags fly everywhere like schmetterlings. And because this is Berlin, innit? Everyone needs to look cool, innit? It needs to look cool, yeah? So then they just look at everyone on the train like, I meant to do that. It's part of an art project. Yeah. And then the train goes off and they're like, choosy, 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 choosy. I deserve that. I shop at Primark. And yeah, and they do. And then the second people in the league are the nearly winners. The nearly winners. The people who nearly make the door. And this is usually Americans, right? I don't know, it's something to do with confidence or something, right? The door will just about to close. And then just as it's going to close, they slip in, don't they? And then they just look at you like, ha, made the door. USA, 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 USA. Poo, 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 poo. Because this is how Americans say hello, isn't it? Yeah? Hello, poo, 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 especially if your country is oil. Hello, poo, 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 poo. We're going to take this, we're going to take that, but we're going to give you democracy. Because we're not really using it. And here, have some women's rights as well. And racial equality. And dieting. And then they look at you and it all cocky like, I make the door, I make the door. And then they go to walk off, but their bag is caught in the door, isn't it? And they're like, I meant to do that. Poo, 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 right? But my favourites are the winners, innit? The winners. Because if you can see someone make the door, that means we can all make the door, innit? There is hope for us all, right? And then the other time, I actually saw this happen, right? I was at Merringdom. Do people know Merringdom? Okay, so you'll know what I'm on about, right? So at Merringdom, you get different trains on the same platform, innit? So there I was on my train, right? And then this other train comes along. And then people start running off this train to my train, yeah? Except this one fella, this Turkish-looking fella. Cool as a cucumber in a bowl of hot sauce. Beastie Boys cool, right? Cool as Clint Eastwood, yeah? But Clint Eastwood back in the day, right? Not the racist one we've got now. And he just gets off the train just like, doo-loo-loo, wah, wah, wah. Doo-loo-loo, wah. And he looks at me and I look at him and we have this telepathic link like me and you are having right now. The show's nearly done. Wait till then, please. And but if you have to go, go. And he looks at me and he's just like, I'm going to get this train. And he just starts strolling, man. Strolling. Taking his time. Like he's in West Side Story or something. You know what I mean? It's one of the Jets or the Sharks. Like, da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Bam, bam, bam. And then this little old woman comes in front of him and he's just like, shh. I'm going to get this train. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Bam, bam, bam. And then this little row of school kids comes and he just hops over them. Gute Kinder. Stay in school. I'm gonna get this train. Da 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 da. Bam bam bam. Now my door starts going, so I start panicking. I'm like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. I've invested way too much time in you now, right? I need conclusion to this story, right? But he don't give a F, right? He's just strolling. Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, bam, bam, bam. This guy comes up to him asking for some change, right? He's just like that. Ching. Bitteschön. You should have stayed in school. I'm gonna get this train. And it just keeps going, man. And then just before my doors close, right, this guy, he turns around. He moonwalks onto the train, yeah? He turns around like, ah, hee, hee. The doors close behind him. The whole train is like, wah! I'm like, wah! I need to hug this guy right now! But then my English side kicked in. So all I could do was... And then he looked at me and he was like, fuck on, bitte! And it was the one day I forgot my fucking far card. So they took 60 euros off me. You guys, I just really got to thank you guys. I got to thank everyone involved in this. I've been Dharmander Singh. You guys have been wonderful. Good night.
Ready and so prepared as the old man who dared to fight the dragon who threatened his lands. A weapon of your choice, soon will hear my voice, and everything will seem so grand. And cows are falling from the sky. Look at me, I've seen you try. Oh, I can't speak, it seems so dense. I must admit it's fucking nonsense. I must admit you're fucking me. I must admit it's fucking nonsense. Must admit you're fucking me. I must admit you're fucking. Are we rolling? 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 Are we rolling?